They own more wealth than the bottom half of the world's population. It's an amount of money so obscene, so ludicrously large, that if you tried to count it all, you'd probably die of old age before you even got close. They influence governments. Not in the "I wrote my congressman" way, but in the "my lobbyist had lunch with your entire Senate subcommittee" way. Control industries, and silently shape the very system we live in. Welcome to the dark truth of billionaires. Let's get one thing straight off the bat. The rise of the billionaire class isn't some heartwarming tale of bootstraps and gumption. It's not about long hours and brilliant ideas in a garage. Well, sometimes it is, but mostly it's about something far less glamorous. Systemic advantages, exploitation, and often, a big fat inheritance check from dear old dad. Because, let's not forget, most billionaires didn't claw their way out of poverty. They started the race on third base and pretended they hit a triple. The myth of the self-made billionaire is seductive, isn't it? It's the American dream on steroids. Work hard, play by the rules, and you too could one day launch yourself into space and forget what planet you're from. But it's also incredibly misleading. It's about access to elite networks, seed capital, and favorable laws that benefit the already wealthy. Let's talk about labor, shall we? Beneath the shiny veneer of innovation and disruption, many billionaire empires are built on underpaid workers. Whether it's garment factories, delivery drivers, or content moderators, the story remains the same. Workers, the backbone of these billion-dollar behemoths, often don't receive fair compensation. We're told it's about disruption, about streamlining and optimizing the workforce. But what it really means is squeezing every last drop of productivity out of workers while keeping wages as low as legally possible. Profits soar, executive bonuses balloon, but wages stagnate. It's almost as if there's a disconnect between the value workers create and the rewards they receive. Here's a fun thought experiment. Imagine a system where the more money you have, the less you pay in taxes. Sounds like some kind of dystopian nightmare, right? Well, buckle up, because that's basically the reality we live in. While ordinary citizens like you and me are diligently paying our taxes every year, many billionaires are living in a parallel universe where taxes are more like suggestions. How do they do it? They employ an army of accountants, lawyers, and financial wizards who specialize in navigating tax loopholes, offshore accounts, and creative accounting tactics. These aren't your run-of-the-mill tax deductions for donating old clothes to charity. We're talking about complex financial instruments and strategies so convoluted they'd make a pretzel look like a straight line. And the kicker? They do all of this legally. They exploit the system, bending it to their will, all while presenting an image of responsibility and philanthropy. Let's talk about the media, shall we? In a world saturated with information, the question of who controls the narrative is more important than ever. And increasingly, the answer is billionaires. From sprawling media empires to social media platforms, many of the world's most influential sources of information are owned or heavily influenced by the ultra-rich. They shape public opinion, not through overt propaganda, but through subtle framing, agenda setting, and sometimes outright censorship. They decide which stories get told, which perspectives are amplified, and which voices are silenced. Media ownership has become dangerously concentrated, and it's time we started paying attention to who's holding the megaphone. Ah, philanthropy. It's the billionaire's get-out-of-jail-free card, isn't it? Donate a few million to a worthy cause, slap your name on a building or two, and suddenly, all those pesky questions about labor practices and tax avoidance just melt away. But here's the question we rarely ask. Is it genuine altruism or strategic PR? Often these grand acts of giving are less about selfless generosity and more about reputation management, tax write-offs, and gaining influence. It's the ultimate form of ethical arbitrage. Exploit the system, amass a fortune, and then use a fraction of that wealth to position yourself as a savior. Let's talk about something that should make your skin crawl: the insidious influence of money in politics. Because while we like to pretend that our elected officials are beholden only to the people they represent, the reality is far more transactional. And when it comes to shaping laws and policies, billionaires are playing a high-stakes game with your future. We're talking about lobbying, those shadowy backroom deals where corporate interest whispers sweet nothings into the ears of lawmakers. We're talking about super PACs, those bottomless pits of dark money that can make it rain on political campaigns with the flick of a checkbook. Whether it's deregulation, tax reforms, or labor laws, billionaires have a knack for getting what they want. And sometimes, they don't just influence leaders, they become them. Let's face it, the planet is on fire. And it's not just because of our collective addiction to single-use plastics. Industries backed by billionaires, from fossil fuels to fast fashion to industrial agriculture, are often at the very center of environmental devastation. Deforestation, pollution, oil spills, resource depletion. The pursuit of profit margins often trumps any concern for sustainability or the well-being of the planet. And yet, in a stunning display of cognitive dissonance, these same billionaires are now investing in greenwashing campaigns, buying up carbon credits, and launching eco-friendly ventures. They hire sustainability consultants, fund environmental NGOs, and give TED Talks about saving the planet, all while their core businesses continue to pump out pollution. It's the ultimate bait and switch profit from environmental destruction, then rebrand yourself as an eco-warrior. In the cutthroat world of billion-dollar empires, there's one mantra that reigns supreme: growth. Relentless, insatiable, exponential growth. Quarterly earnings must be met, market share must be expanded, competitors must be crushed, and profits must soar to ever-dizzying heights. Enough is never enough. More, more, more. It's the siren song of the billionaire class, a seductive melody that drowns out any concerns about sustainability, ethics, or the well-being of workers. But this addiction to growth, this relentless pursuit of more, comes at a steep price. It's a race to the bottom, a game of winner-take-all, where the only rule is to keep growing, no matter the cost. We idolize them, don't we? We follow their every move on social media, hang on their every word, and treat their pronouncements like gospel. We buy their books, watch their interviews, and analyze their every decision, hoping to glean some nugget of wisdom, some secret to success. But why? Why do we worship at the altar of the billionaire? The cult of the billionaire has created a dangerous illusion that they are inherently smarter, more capable, more deserving of their wealth and power. We attribute their success to innate brilliance, to hard work, to some mythical entrepreneurial spirit that sets them apart from the rest of us mere mortals. But this reverence distracts us from the systemic advantages, the exploitation, the often unethical practices that pave their path to wealth. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. The system is rigged, not in some grand conspiracy theory way, but in 1,000 small, subtle ways that benefit the already wealthy and powerful. Behind closed doors, deals are made, favors are exchanged, and the rules are bent to protect the interests of the few at the expense of the many. They don't want you to question the system, because to question it is to expose its inherent unfairness. They want you to aspire to it, to strive to climb the ladder, even if the rungs are greased with inequality, and the top is reserved for a select few. They want you to believe that their success is attainable, that hard work and determination are all that stand between you and a billion-dollar fortune. But the truth is, the game is often fixed. This isn't about envy, it's about awareness. Billionaires aren't the villains of fairy tales. They're real, and their influence is vast. We're not asking you to hate the rich, but to understand how power operates, how systems are shaped, and how narratives are spun. If this video opened your eyes, even just a little bit, then do what they don't want you to do, like, comment, and share it with others. Let's start a conversation, spark a debate, and shine a light on the dark truth of billionaires.